similarities what Albin's doing at Charlotte with what he did at Ohio and had so much success, and what type of coach is he in general?
Well, I mean, Coach Albin's a fantastic coach. His track record is really unbelievable. I've gotten now the chance to get to know him, but I've watched his program from afar. The things that jump off with his teams are always they're well coached and they play incredibly hard. I think the difference I see now is, they've opened up offensively, right? They've opened up the passing game more at Charlotte than maybe what they did at Ohio when he was there. Not really sure the reason. Personnel driven would be my guess. And I think that's probably the biggest noticeable difference, the willingness really to throw the football, to try to stretch the field with the receiving crew. Not sure that was the case early in the season. I think that's what's developed through the first 3 weeks.
You talk a little bit about Plae, saw the announcement about the good work
Yeah.
of just everything he's gone through coming back, but just what a nomination like that means to the program.
Well, it's an incredible honor for Plae and for our program. I think Plae's the fourth Al in the history to be named to the Allstate Good Works team. For me personally, he's my fourth now in my career. And I told Plae this yesterday, and he's joined an incredibly select group of young men that I've known personally, that I've coached, that have won that award to be selected to that team, and incredible humans, which he is, right? To win an award like this or to be selected as team, there's really three phases they're looking at: your work on the field, your work in the classroom, and then your work in service. So for you to be selected as one of, I think there's 22 across the country at all levels. I mean, how many college football players are there at all levels, right? We're talking, tens and thousands, and he was narrowed down to each level to be one of the final 22. It's really remarkable, true testament to Plae, who he is as a person, a football player, a scholar athlete here, and I could not be prouder. I'm so excited I get to be a part of this journey with him.
That's it. Let me ask you about Chase Jenkins and how you feel he's obviously operating in your offense, and is the team starting to really pick it up?
Yeah, I think last week was a really nice growth week for Chase, right? A great momentum builder, a confidence builder. I think we saw things out of Chase that we knew were there, but once you really have to get comfortable in the system and your reads to maybe try to get to that point where you see some of that come out. And Saturday we saw that, right? He heard the defense with his feet, he heard him with his arm, right? The ability to really be a dual threat guy, which is what we've talked about, the importance of that in the offense. So I'm really pleased with his growth. I think, the exciting part for all of us is that I think we're just scratching the surface still what he's capable of inside this offense. We're 3 games in, and completely different schematic scene than what these players are used to, right? And so I think he's adapted really well. I think the group around him has adapted really well. And like we're talking about Charlotte's DNA, I think we're starting to find our DNA offensively, right? What we're capable of, what we can do, and what we can't do. And I think that's really important in these early, season games and matchups, that you try to identify some of that stuff.
Heading back to an area with which you are familiar,
Yeah.
excited about going back?
I am. I mean, I'm more excited that we're opening conference play and that it's a Thursday night and that we're on ESPN. I'm most excited about that. Excited I'll get to see my daughter, right? My daughter is in Charlotte and her fiance. So other than that, it's a road football game for me. I think we'll have a really nice contingency of fans that are cheering on the Owls, that are from the greater region, that are connected to myself or someone on staff, right? It's not, we had a couple of staff members that were at Charlotte last year, not just in the region. So I'm excited that we're gonna have a little more support than your average away game maybe. And so, but I'm looking forward to the opportunity for our program, all right? Open up conference play, playing on the road. It should be an exciting environment, and I'm excited for our guys.
And then we've talked about the development of the offense. I want to ask you about Drayden here and how you've seen kind of him grow since you got here and how he's become such a key piece.
Well, Drayden has a ton of ability, and then how does he transition into this offense? And you see us starting to use him differently now, right? You're playing a little bit of our true slot position, which is hybrid, getting the ball different ways, right? On some of the fly sweeps, some of the option game, but you're also seeing us involving more in our passing game, right? How do we stretch the field? We're not sure anybody in our league can run with him. I mean that. I think he's one of the fastest kids in the conference, right? That shows up on the track, right? So, we'll continue to try to find different ways to utilize him, and that that's important. We talk about stretching the field, making people defend, horizontally and vertically, and we're just now starting to scratch the surface on that, and he's a big part of that.
Okay, Andrew, I see you're online. Do you have any questions?
Coach, can you hear me okay?
I can, yes.
Yeah, you spoke on it a little bit earlier, but just a little more on the excitement of playing on ESPN on such a big scale and what an opportunity that is for this program.
I think it's a tremendous opportunity. I'm not sure, whether the scheduling people were planning this or just luck of the draw, when the conference sent out the schedule. But I could not be more excited. It's year one for both programs, so I'm sure they feel the same way. The opportunity to play on a national stage, to have your program out there, and we're a program that's we're here in Houston, Texas, the hotbed of high school football. But we do have some connections in recruiting across the country landscape, and so to be on a national scale, to have our broadcast out there where from coast to coast, everyone's going to see the Owls play is exciting and should be a great opportunity for us.
So the Good Works team was, Coach and them let me know about it yesterday, and it was good recognition. Like Coach said, good for the program. Really everything we do back home, and my dad and everything we do in the community just been out of the heart. Out of something that we always just giving back is one of the big things that we always been involved of, man, and just want to do so. Just being nominated and then being selected for a award like that was it was good. I talked to my dad about it a little bit, and he was excited, and he was like, man, it's just a blessing, but just keep going, because it's other people in the world who need that light to be shined on them. A lot of people not in this position that I am in, and being here at the university with the team playing football, so it's just good to be able to just see a smile on someone else's face.
And how did that feel as you are just getting back in football on the field, being part of it, really getting your feet wet again after a long off?
Man, it felt real good. Just coming in last year, first game of the year, it was just crazy experience this whole last year. And then, I was doing special teams versus first two games of the season. Got cleared, got in on defense last game versus PV, and then before I even got in the game, man, I just had tears coming from my eyes, man. It was just a real moment, just a full circle moment, being able to come back and just remember all the times I couldn't even get out of bed, I couldn't even walk, knees swelled up, man. Going through 2 surgeries, and it really took a toll on, physically and mentally. But just being able to bounce back and being out here with this great team, first year, and on the verge of doing something big, it's a real blessing.
What's it like having the room that you're in with all those guys, help each other out, things like that?
And the room I feel like we got a great room with guys, especially in the safety room. So everybody back there, we've been pushing each other since the rip, since guys came in the spring and guys came in the summer, and we just been working. We know that really we preach it every day, and we say every day we feel like we got the best defense in the conference, and that's something that we want to live by, and that's something that we want to prove every week. And so just being able to just start getting into it and start getting back out there with the guys, man, it felt good. Just being on the field, moving around with them, getting to communicate on the field, giving them fall calls, everything that we do. So it's just been good getting in there and grinding with them, and we're ready for this week.
Saw you bringing in a new friend to the Patterson Center today. Tell us about your new little guy.
So really a while back, me and my girlfriend, we would work at the HSPCA. We'd volunteer over there with dogs, and it was just, we always do that, take a dog for a couple of weeks, training them, we had to get them back. But a lot of people don't know this, but last year, after the season, my dog had passed away. We were driving home, car accident with the wood, and then he ended up passing away. And so we didn't have a dog for probably like another year, and it's been about a year and a half, 2 years. And man, some guy I knew back home, his son's actually a 4-star out there. He played, and he had posted, he says, one more left, and it was a runt. And I was like, I always been like a runt kind of guy. He the underdog, so I was like, man, I gotta grab him. So we had took him in, and we just trying to get him right now. He a little bad, but we getting him right.
You mentioned your dad in passing earlier. What motivated you
Mhm.
to get nominated for an award like that kind of mindset?
So really just the last 20 years, ever since my pops here originally from Ohio, getting moved to Denison, came to Lubbock, and that's why I was born out there. He went to Texas Tech, so then he moved out to McKinney, and he just been a big, just a pillar in the city. He been giving back for years, and he got a nonprofit organization, and everything he do, it's not even about the money. He get it back. Like if you see him even go back home now, he got 3, 4, 5 extra kids in the car with him. He go and pay for their meals and take them out and, you know what I'm saying, go buy them shoes and things like that. And it's just, growing up in that type of environment and being around the people and having to, get back to, and he telling me we got to go to people's house and tutor them growing up. It was just like, man, I didn't understand it at first, but just seeing it now, like that's what what the world needs, And so just being around someone like him, that can just push me in the grain and instill that into me, it was a real blessing. So I just been taking it and just trying to take a step forward.
You got all this coming up.
Mhm.
Thursday night, first of all, congratulations on the award. Then you're
Mhm.
playing at Charlotte on national television,
Mhm.
and you are working your way back on the field. How does it feel, all of this going on in the 6th year? How does it feel to be in that position?
Man, it felt good, especially a year ago at this time, man. It was tough. Just looking back, it's like, man, it done came a long way. It's a long journey. And I tell the guys in the locker room, man, Charlotte, it's an awesome place to play. It's one of my favorite places to play too. Like coming in, I think we done been there the 2 times we've been there on the road. We won those games. And Charlotte always bring out a good crowd. The student section sit behind us. It be packed. They be talking noise, but we always come out with a victory. So I be telling them third time a charm, we got to come in there, handle business. And I think, just from our perspective, this is one of the biggest games for our seasons because it come down to this, first game of conference. We got to come in there, short week, everybody tired, everybody beat up. But we got to who gonna prevail, So we've been grinding, had a good lift for Coach Lou this morning, and I think them boys ready. So we ready to get to it.
And in addition to what you know about Charlotte off the field and the trash talk and all that stuff, talk about what you know about the team as you prepare for them.
I know the team. I think it's gonna revolve around that quarterback. Quarterback, a great player. He can run, throw, and they got a receiver when he went off last week, number 7. So we for sure tuned in with that. The run game is solid too, but the quarterback, I feel like is gonna run through him. Some first read breakdown, he's gonna try to take off running. We're gonna be all over that. So man, we just gotta come in. We gotta come in prepared. They got a solid team, and just like us, they're for the first year head coach. So they trying to find themselves and they trying to assert their dominance. So we gotta walk in, lack of a better word, we gotta walk in that trap and take over the trap. So
We're good. I wanted to ask you, it's been a whirlwind of a year. Your kind of first reactions when you hear an option offense is coming to Rice and then finding yourself as, one of the key downfield guys in that offense.
Yeah, I think figuring out initially last year, it was something different. I mean, that's how everybody was. It was different. And like first thoughts, you kind of like panicked a little bit. I know I did, but going into it and meeting with Coach Abell last year in December and January, we had a couple meetings and we talked about the system and just went over it and talked about how all of us receivers, including myself, could have an impact in that offense. It just sounded fun. I mean, running the ball, doing everything, getting the ball in your hands in different ways. It excites you, and it definitely made me want to stay and go in that offense because it's just exciting. It's explosive, and when everyone comes together, and I think that's what we're starting to do now is starting to kind of get our footing and gaining tread, and it can be really fun, and I think that's what we're going towards.
And what's it been like from week to week being able to see like differences? Last week this kind of worked and now we can do this. Had that, offensive explosion last week where more things start to click.
Yeah, I think from like week 1 to week 2, and then now going into 3 and 4, I think those first 2 weeks you're kind of feeling it out because it was everyone's first game playing in that offense. I mean, it's just getting used to it. It was Chase's first game and being a starting quarterback, and it was essentially my first game really starting and being in that offense. So I think it was just kind of gaining tread and going throughout practice, watching film, getting coaching from our position coaches, head coach, and our coordinator. I mean, it's just gaining trade and kind of just getting a feel for the concept, not trying to memorize, but really just knowing the concept and kind of just, I would say, relying on what you learned and relying on the look and not trying to memorize like what a defense is giving you. Just kind of go as you see, trust your eyes.
Can you refresh us on your track story? I always found it pretty fascinating how that kind of came about and how that lends to your ability out on the field.
Yeah, I think my biggest thing. My dad loves track. He's a big advocate for speed, and I grew up always running, racing everybody. And I didn't actually run track until it was offered in middle school, and I did it, and I loved it, and I just kind of saw it as like just a fun thing to do. And once I got to high school, I ran varsity my freshman year. I ran varsity all throughout all 4 years. And I just thought it was really fun. It was kind of just like a different thing away from football. But I mean, football is my first love and it's the best game in the world. But track is also just a big part of me because it helps me get faster. And I think it really helps me translate to the football field and being the fastest guy on the field, I would think. And obviously I really wanted to run in college. And I was talking when I was getting recruited here, I was talking about it and we were like talking to some track coaches here. And we made it work this year, and I think it's been really fun. I think it's a really good thing for me, and it really helps me translate some skills to the football field as well.
Yes. Communication with Coach Warren, I assume, track, but is that something that you want to keep doing at Rice?
Oh, most definitely. I think it's been a really good deal for me, but also like football comes first, and me and Coach Abell have established that for sure, and football over anything. But yeah, definitely, because I think it's been really beneficial for me.
Did you run club track?
No, sir.
Just curious. So tell us what you know a little bit, or what you know about Charlotte and going to play there in that defense and what you will be facing.
Yeah, I think they're a super athletic team. They're going to move fast. You're going to see a lot of rotation in the back end, and that's something us as slots we're going to have to account for, especially with all the motioning that we're doing. And like Coach Abel said, they're not as big up front, but they do move very well. I think that's one thing that we're just going to have to account for, and they're going to play hard. Those corners are going to play hard, especially kind of assuming that the run game is going to be there, and I think it is. But those corners are also going to play hard, and that's something that that some of the wideouts and the slots are going to have to take into account. But I think it's gonna be it's a challenge, but I think we're ready for it.
You mentioned Chase a moment ago. I wonder, what do you think about his maturity in this offense, and how do you guys communicate out there? Especially, this is different. Go to him and say, "Hey, man, I'm open now." Not so much, but kind of talk about it.
Oh man, Chase is my guy, man. I mean, we're really close. I mean, we know each other. Obviously, we're in the same recruiting class, and I've seen him play quarterback and go to receiver, and now back to quarterback. And I think seeing this for him, I mean, I'm just super happy for him because I think this is really good for him. This fits him really well. And I mean, last week you kind of just saw a glimpse of what he can really do, and I think he can do so much more. I mean, the sky's the limit for him, and I think he's going to do really good in this offense. And people just haven't seen what he can truly do yet, especially with his feet and his legs and how he can throw.